Welcome back to episode 16 of the Testrun. Today we're joined by a creator that has just recently broken into the Minecraft scene, skyrocketing to over 500,000 subscribers in just over a year. But what's really interesting about his story is that he's managed to create a new style of content that incorporates both the SMP and hardcore niche. And today he's going to break down how he did it. Please welcome Wenzo. How are you today, Wenzo?
Wow, I am just fine, thank you. Nervous, as I've already mentioned, but I'm happy to be here.
Hey, I mean, at the end of the day, like, there's some people that get nervous at the beginning. There's some people that don't, but I think by the end, or even just like after the first 5 minutes, everybody's fine. So it's nothing to stress about. Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Okay. I'm ready.
Yeah. All right, Wenzo, I have a question for you.
Okay.
All right. If you could explain what kind of videos you make on YouTube in one sentence, how would you explain it?
One
sentence.
I gotta make it count here. I've got to sell myself. I would say I make storytelling videos in an SMP environment, but the projects are hardcore styled.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
That was a terrible sentence. That was a 2-in-1 sentence. I kind of cheated that one.
No, that's all one. But yeah, I think that's like, if I could also boil down your content, that's exactly how I would put it. Like, it's literally just the way I kind of think about it. It's like you're creating videos that are these humongous tasks, but you're also incorporating like interactions and all these other elements that you would see in, let's say, like a lifesteal video or just a traditional SMP video. So it's honestly like you're merging a hardcore Sandiction-esque video with, let's say, like a rec rap video. That's the way I kind of see it.
Yeah, that's definitely the goal for me, because I started off when I started on the Wenzo channel with I started off doing SMP content, and then I started getting intrigued by people like Sandiction and Beppo and all these people who are doing these cool builds, and I'm dreadful at Minecraft in comparison to all these other like SMP people I talk to. So I feel like going the full SMP route, not an option. But I think that's why I'm trying to merge the two and almost create like a mini sub niche out of that. That's the goal, at least. So I'm glad you seem to have a similar definition to me, because that means I'm probably doing something right.
I mean, I think you are achieving that goal, because if you take a look at your channel, I mean, you've just blown up in like the past year and a half, like 0 to 570,000 subscribers, and you have videos that like are about to pass 10 million views, which is just insane.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I've got one video that's coming up to 10 million now, and a year ago, I mean, I was very happy with 10,000 views. That was like unheard business to me. I was over the moon with that. So it's been very crazy. I don't think it's really fully hit yet, because like it's like one of those moments you kind of dream of, and then when it happens, you're just like, oh, that's nice. I'm still waiting for it to fully click. It's kind of hard to comprehend.
Yeah. So if we go like way back, before you even started your channel, like right as you were clicking that create channel button, what was your thought process behind that? Like, was this something that was really calculated, or was it more something that you were like, yeah, I'm just gonna have some fun, I'm just gonna create a channel, I'll see how far I can take it, and over time you kind of realized how intricate it was?
I wish I could say it was calculated, because that would make me sound a lot smarter than I am, but sadly, so I actually have two of those instances, because I have two channels. I worked on one before Wenzo, and I created that 2021, I believe. It was I only did that channel for a year or so, and that was I was just, so I was inspired by, I don't know if you know the Minecraft YouTuber Buffy. I hadn't played Minecraft for years at this point, and I saw he was doing it. I was like, well, that's really cool. I want to do YouTube. And, I don't have the money, or definitely didn't at the time, to do like set up an IRL channel. And I want to do these creative ideas. So I'm like, let's do them in Minecraft. I think that will be fun. That channel didn't really get anywhere. It got to like 1,000 2,000 subs, and then it's just ended up losing subscribers. I was getting like 40 views on the videos. So I created the Wenzo channel, actually. Interestingly enough, I created the channel... So I found out about lifesteal, and I was like, whoa, that's cool, because I watched a Rochambeau video, and I mean, he's a member of lifesteal. I watched that, and I was like, this is super sick. Like, you know, everyone's interacting with each other. It's quite competitive, and I thought that was a really cool thing. I didn't even know was a thing on Minecraft, and so I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I looked to see, can I apply for the lifesteal SMP? No, I couldn't, because it turned out the deadline was over for the applications. So I went around searching for like rip-off lifesteal SMPs essentially, and I ended up finding an SMP called Demise, and I joined there, and I was like, "What's up, guys? You know, Wenzo's in." Well, it wasn't Wenzo at the time, but it was. I'm in the house, and then they took one look at my channel and said that I needed to create a new channel because it was completely dead in the water. So I originally created my first channel for fun. I genuinely didn't expect anything to really come of it, but after a couple of videos, I completely fell in love. It was like super fun. Nothing like I'd never been so engaged in doing something before. And then when I created the Wenzo channel, that was just because my other channel was completely dead.
Mm-hmm.
that was the only reason. So sadly, it wasn't like a sophisticated calculation that led me to my channel. But I mean, it worked out quite well in the end, thankfully.
Yeah, honestly, I have kind of a similar story. Like, I think a lot of people that started their channels around the time that I did, you know, they were kind of inspired by Dream. They were kind of inspired by all the stuff he was saying. Like, yeah, I read 50 to 100 books worth of information, and I just studied for 6 months straight. I kind of thought that I was doing that back then, but in all honesty, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, there's a reason why it took me, I don't even know, like 4 months to go from 0 to 1,000 subs. And if it wasn't for those 4 months, I don't know where I would be today. Like, I genuinely had no idea what I was doing back then. So
nice. I think I've spoken to quite a few people, and a lot of people really don't know what they're doing now. It's I think it's one of those things that you never stop learning, and if you do stop learning, you're doing something wrong, because there's always room for improvement.
Yeah,
I think that's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is a really interesting question that I have seen so much on Twitter, and I've seen it so much on YouTube. Like, there's been countless YouTube videos dropped on this question, and I want to get your opinion on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that SMP content, and I hate this word, do you think that it's getting stale?
Does it begin with a D? Oh, stale. Oh, I thought you were going to say dying.
No.
I've heard a lot of things about it being stale and dying. I think so. I think to say it's dying is completely wrong, because, you know, the numbers are there to prove it's still very much live. The audience is massive for this SMP content. Stale, perhaps. I think maybe I could be wrong here, but maybe it feels stale because we've had lifesteal come in still not all that long ago, really. And you know, that just felt really fresh. It introduced everyone into, you know, SMP. I mean, I know that I can't be the only person who didn't know really at all about SMPs until I watched a lifesteal video.
Mm-hmm.
And that felt really fresh. And then I think there was a lot of innovation going on for a while. There was Awaken SMP, which I was in, which we were doing. It wasn't the same sort of stuff as lifesteal, but it was still different and bringing something new. But recently, I have to admit, it definitely does feel like it's getting a bit stale. And I don't think by any means that means like SMP content is doomed or whatever. But there's room for people to come in now more than ever, be themselves and do something completely different and really like push forward the niche, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of room for innovation at the moment, which is exciting more than worrying, in my opinion.
Yeah. And like something I've always wondered is it's so easy to break into the space right now. Like I think the time when creators were breaking the most into space was like October 2021, like early to mid season 2 of Lifesteal, and then now. Like you've seen like one big example that I like to reference a lot is this creator named Zolister. I don't know if you've seen his video, but that yeah.
Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, I was literally talking to him just before we hopped in this call.
Yeah.
That was why I said, I just give me 1 minute before I hop in the call. And I was actually talking to Zolister and a couple others. Yeah, I loved what he did because he wasn't afraid to be different. He's taking actually owning the villain role, which is, really, really interesting. And I think that's why it does so well, because it's this sort of drastic change is something we haven't seen in the SMP area for so long. It's it's part of the reason I'm trying to do something that isn't just SMP either. It's because there's so much room right now, and like you said, loads of room to break into the space, because I think viewers are really craving something fresh, and I think Zolister really brought that. I think, are you familiar with Gizmo? He made a video that absolutely blew up recently about bamboo.
Was that? Oh, yeah, I just remember that thumbnail because I remember sending the thumbnail to Bacon, and I was like, bro, this is such a good thumbnail. It's like
yeah. I saw it on my homepage. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I was like, what a good thumbnail. I don't know how intentional it was. Yeah. It's a really good thumbnail nonetheless. And but even like video wise, it's so watching his videos, he's not like afraid to be different, which is something, again, as I've mentioned, I think we've really been missing in the space. There's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of the same sort of thing going around right now without much just to freshen and liven it all up, and I think those two are some really good examples of people who are beginning to do that now.
Yeah. And I think it's really interesting too, because even Mr. Beast said it himself, like nobody's going to become the next Mr. Beast by doing what Mr. Beast is doing. Yet, like on YouTube, a lot of the videos I see are kind of like, they're not really their own style. Like they're pulling most of their elements from bigger creators in the space. So why do you think that creators, even though they kind of know and they say that SMP content needs innovation and it is getting stale, why do you think they're not doing anything about it? Because that's what I've always wondered.
I think so. There's the obvious one, which is when you're seeing something that's clearly working so well for other people, it's you're seeing people have these successes, and it's not like in other businesses where their tricks and tactics are hidden behind a wall. It's right there, all in front of you. With all the YouTube videos, how they package, that's all it is. So I think a lot of people, they see, and I've been guilty of this in the past as well, very much so. You see how well someone else is doing. You're like, oh, I would love to be doing that well myself. Why not just go and copy them? And then I think another reason why is, it's especially if you've been working, maybe you've already had some success before and you are trying to keep that up. It can be risky making these changes. I know for me, when I was transitioning from all my SMP content over to what I'm doing now, it was definitely very scary, because those videos, it was pretty simple. I knew what worked with them, and I was going into something that was more uncharted territory. I think that's the word.
Yeah.
And it's definitely kind of scary. So I think those might be the main two reasons.
Yeah, I think that does make a lot of sense, because I think it's scarier for a bigger creator to make a pivot than for a smaller creator too, right? Because
Yeah, definitely.
like for me, if I wanted to make a huge pivot in my content, I would be sitting there like I'd be just thinking of every single possible outcome. How would my audience react to this? How would this do? Like, is this even worth it? Could this destroy my channel? But I think what we really need is we either need everybody to just start taking risks, or we just need like some new creators who just pop into the scene to just go, all right, I'm just going to full send like this new idea that I have. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then I'm just going to try something else. I think that's what we need.
Yeah, I agree. And it's even more reason as to why it's quite easy to break into right now, because what's currently shining through is being yourself. That's what's doing well at the moment.
Yeah.
Instead of just, providing what's already here in the SMP content, in the SMP niche. If you bring something new to the table and you do it in a way that's interesting to others and exciting, it can do very well. And I mean, the people we've talked about already are kind of proof to that.
Mm-hmm. So if there was like a new creator that hadn't made any videos yet, they've been watching SMP content, or they've been watching like this SMP hardcore hybrid content, what tip would you give to them? If you could give them like any tip at all.
Okay, I'll give one tip because, and don't get me wrong, this is coming from someone with one of the worst upload schedules you will ever see.
Yeah.
Trying to change, but right now I've not got much to prove for myself in the upload schedule department. But as a smaller creator who maybe is just starting out, I would set yourself a pretty strict time limit of maximum one video every 3 weeks, maybe maximum 4.
Yeah.
Because what I think is, I see this being done all the time, and it's a lot of smaller creators perhaps are trying to make the next Sandiction 10 million view video when they haven't even got a video with 10k views yet.
Yeah.
I think it's so important to be able to consistently make videos with 10k views before you shoot for 100k views. Because, you can get that one off, but there's no guarantee you're going to be able to replicate that every single time. Even my upload schedule now is dreadful. And, I'll be the first to admit I'm probably last on any upload schedule leaderboards there are out there. But it's... Before my channel started doing well, there was even a month where I was uploading once every 3 days. Sometimes I'd make a video within 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't good at all at making videos. And, the experience is the best teacher at the end of the day. I think that would be the biggest advice I'd give, because you're only holding your own learning and experience, like mainly just your learning. Yeah, you're holding your learning up if you're perhaps only uploading once every few months, when currently, you're in the learning phase. It's not about getting that 10 million view video, like becoming the next Sandiction. It's about creating strong and sturdy foundations, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there's a big misconception that you can learn a lot from watching other people's videos, which, yeah, you can. And I think consumption is pretty important, like, especially for inspiration. But I think like a lot of the bigger creators today, especially in this space, they started out by just pumping out uploads. And because they did that, they were able to learn and create their own style and then eventually succeed. Like, for example, RecRap, for a while, he was uploading 2 or 3 times every week. Like, this was right after his dream blow up video. And actually, RecRap, when he was on EchoCraft, he did like 2 episodes a week for a year straight or something crazy.
Yeah.
When when my school SMP video hit, I was uploading twice a week. I did that for 8 weeks straight. And like, for example, you were doing a video every 3 days. Like, I think the higher quantity of videos that we see, not only are people going to be able to learn more quickly, but it also provides more opportunity for innovation, because the more you're posting, the more kind of like accidents happen. And honestly, like I've seen the most change in my style from an accident. Like I didn't mean to put that in. I didn't think it would do anything, but oh, this actually worked. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds weird, but you need to give yourself time to know yourself, right? Like if you just make a video straight off, chances are it's just going to be a culmination of maybe the 2 or 3 YouTubers you watch and are inspired by the most, which is great. But as you give yourself more time and more experience by uploading more videos, you definitely get to learn, what are you on accident doing just out of gut instinct consistently in every video, and how can you, like really convey that each time. It's I don't know if I've explained that well at all, but I think it's you need time to really know yourself. I mean, only recently I've been starting to carve out my own identity. For ages I was making some some kind of I spent a little bit longer making each video, and each time I did it, it was becoming more like formulated almost, and I was losing myself in it a bit. So
Yeah.
and by whacking up loads of uploads, you're leaving in those imperfections, and sometimes that can lead to, like what you said, is how you can find your style and yourself the best within videos.
All right, I have a question for you. So I assume that you're doing YouTube full time, right? Yeah. So what do you think is going to allow you to go from your current upload schedule to a much more consistent upload schedule?
Okay, so it's something I mean, I did want to work on my upload schedule earlier this year, and I tried, and I completely failed. That much is very evident by the lack of uploads on my channel. I'm making steps now, because it was something I was very scared to do, to actually beginning to outsource some of the uncreative but time-consuming parts of my videos.
Yeah.
For example, if there's I still want to keep my hands all over all of the creative bits, because I think that's what makes my videos like unique and mine. But there's certain bits in the videos. Let's take subtitling, for example. I subtitle quite a lot of my videos, and it doesn't take any skill. My nan could probably do the subtitles, as long as she's got the basic, like spelling ability in her. It's not something I really need to be dedicating my time to anymore. I think I get very caught up over those things, and that's why I want to begin outsourcing those. And the other thing is just something I'm constantly trying to work on, is just getting out of that perfectionist mindset. It really doesn't do any favors in terms of upload frequency, that's for sure. Like stressing over every little bit, whoa, was the sound effect 0.3 decibels too loud? Is everyone gonna click off? And it's like, no one's gonna notice. It's but when you're in the grind mode and you're editing, that is not what comes to head. You're panicking. Well, at least I know for me, I'm panicking over every little thing I do.
Yeah.
And it's something I'm really, really trying to get out of, but it's a lot easier said than done. So I think that'll come with time.
Yeah. And when you say you're going to outsource the subtitles and then keep the creative parts, like what do you mean by the creative parts? Is that like structure? Is that scripting? Is that something else?
So to me, the creative parts are... So the things I still have to do are obvious, because I'm making my videos on an SMP. I still have to do all the recording. I still want to plan all the videos myself, make sure the ideas are my own. I think that's very important to me. Some things like cutting up the gameplay, just very basically, at a basic level, I want to begin outsourcing, because all that requires, again, is eyes. As long as you've got eyeballs, you can see the waveforms, and you can cut there, cut here, move it all together. Just cutting out all the silences, and it's something that takes a surprising amount of time, and especially when you're making very long videos from very long projects. I don't enjoy it at all, because I only enjoy the creative bits. And the issue is, when I don't enjoy it at all, I I can occasionally procrastinate it, and then that just makes it take even longer. It's those bits I want to get rid of for the reasons of A, uploading more frequently, but also B, just actually enjoying every single part of the process. I mean, that would be amazing, because all the creative parts, which are more so, I mean, examples of creative parts are the sound, like the sound design. I love doing the sound design on my videos, or the music. I really love doing the music. That's very important to me, and I don't think I would ever want to give that up.
Yeah.
I think the music's a pretty vital part of the video, and I want to be able to do that myself. But as I mentioned, the subtitles perhaps, or the basic cutting up of the video, it's something anyone could really do, and it's also not something I enjoy. So to get those outsourced seems like a smart idea, and I'm hoping, my goal is by the end of the year, if by the end of the year I can start getting videos out once every 2 to 3 weeks, I will be over the moon. I'll be so happy with that.
Yeah.
Because I mean that will beat the like 2 to 3 months there I'm taking at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And like, so obviously there's the editing part, which I assume takes a lot of time, but what about the recording? Because these projects that you're doing, these are extensive building projects. Like, if I were to try to plan these out and do them, I feel like it would just take me hours upon hours upon hours. Like, have you figured out a way to kind of streamline that process, or is this something that's just like, it's like heavy work and it just takes you a lot of time?
Honestly, I think the strategy with that is really just scaling down the videos a little bit. It's kind of hard because, again, I'm on an SMP. I could never, get someone else to record the video for me, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be there recording all the video because I wanted to have interactions that are my own. I also want to, like, I always build and plan all my stuff. I wouldn't want anyone doing that for me. Recently, I have began, like, my video, the recordings are taking less and less time slowly. So my last 2 videos each took maybe 3 weeks to record, which only makes it more embarrassing how long it took to edit. But it's like I am beginning to cut those down. I think it just comes to downscaling the projects and figuring out how to make an interesting video without relying on the scale of it. So a good example would be RecRap made a video a while ago about just building a copper house, right? God knows how many millions of views that has now.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big crazy project, at least not from what I watched of it. But it was so unique and interesting that it still performs well because people are interested in seeing that. I need to get better at beginning to find out how to make something interesting without just making it super large or something crazy. And I think the current video I'm working on, it's coming out very soon. It's more of a it's still a big-ish project, but it's more of an interesting one, I think. I'm hoping I'm beginning to go in the right direction of interesting over scale, basically. I think that's the goal.
I mean, I think a really good example of that is like Ryan Trahan, right? So you can watch. So I forget which video it was. It was like, it was he built like a little ecosystem inside of a glass bottle, right? And if you compared this to, let's say, a Mr. Beast video or an Eric video, you're like, bro, like, what is this concept? Like, this is actually the most simple, non-stimulating concept ever. But if you actually watch the video, he creates it in a way that's so interesting that you just want to watch. Like, it's almost like you're rooting for him, even though it's not a competition. And I was talking to what's his name? I basically have this friend named Paul, and he was like, yo, if you posted your first school SMP video right now, how do you think it would do? And I told him, I was like, I think it is a little bit outdated, but if I made a little tweak, like a few tweaks that matched my current style, I still think it would do pretty good. And I think that applies to a lot of videos on YouTube right now. Like if you want a mega viral video, like yeah, you kind of need um like a Mr. Beast or Eric concept that can be applied everywhere, but if you just want a video that does really well, you don't need that. And you can kind of boil it down to story over spectacle. That's how I kind of see it.
Hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. I think Ryan is the perfect example of that. It's easy, and I mean I fell right into this trap myself of just going, bigger is better. The bigger the bigger it is, the more interesting it is. But there's so many examples now to prove otherwise that you can do these small things. So another example for Ryan Trahan would be he did the video where the fossil hunting. I
Oh,
think
that
it
was such a good one. Yeah.
that was a banger video, and I realistically all it took was maybe a day or so for his team to prepare the trip, and he goes over there. It takes 2 days to record. I think that was one night, and then he was back, and it was so interesting because again, it's already interesting, and it doesn't have to take 5,000 years to like record or set up or anything, and it's the same with Rex Copper House. It's interesting, It's a copper. It helps that copper was very new at the time to Minecraft. But it's an interesting thing. It piques your interest without it being like, he could have made it like, I built a copper pyramid and had like a 50 million blocks text up at the top or something. But it didn't need that because it was interesting enough of an idea as it is, and that's something I'm really going to be trying to go towards, especially if I want to actually get more than just like one video out every single year. It's I think I would love to have that skill to just come up with these super interesting ideas without them having to be super expansive projects.
What would you say your goals are on YouTube over the course of the next year? Because a lot of people, they like to set these video goals where they're like, oh, I want a video that gets this amount of views and I want to hit this amount of subscribers. But if you take someone like Clown, who I was just recently talking to, his goal is a lot more centered around just staying consistent. And he's kind of realized that as long as he stays consistent, his channel is going to be thriving more than if he was just aiming for like viral bangers. And you've kind of seen that. I'm not sure if you've been paying attention to his channel, but his channel has just like skyrocketed in the past month just because he stayed consistent. And his ideas aren't like massive Mr. Beast type videos. Honestly, I'd kind of like compare them to these like more simple story over spectacle. So like, is that your kind of goal over the next year, or do you have a different idea?
Yeah, so I mean, my goal is it's basically just what I mentioned earlier. I don't like going for subscriber goals and stuff because I don't think, I feel like subscribers are the byproduct of doing something else correctly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously they are, right? So it doesn't make sense to make the byproduct the goal, in my opinion. My goal, as I mentioned, is to end of this year, one video every 2 to 3 weeks. That's the goal, because if I could set myself up then for the following year to continue posting once every 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to begin building a way more engaged and active audience. The subscribers, of course, will come alongside it. It's that's the whole goal. And yeah, I saw so I did listen to the podcast episode you did with Clown, and yeah, it's insane what he's done recently with going away from those like large scale. I mean, I think he made a video like I got 5,000 god apples. It wasn't 5,000, but it was something crazy. Yeah. And his videos are doing just as well now, really, doing these smaller ideas, and it's really good. And I admire how he's managed to create an audience that's so strong that despite it being like an unconventional way to do YouTube at the current moment, with all the Mr. Beastification and stuff, it's insane to see how well he's doing with these much more simpler and toned down videos.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's Yeah, it's really cool. And yeah, goal wise, I'm kind of taking some inspiration from that myself. Is I don't want it to be about the subscribers, but I want it to be about the consistency and how many videos I'm uploading and what the quality is, rather than going let's go for 600 700k this year.
Yeah. Something interesting about subscribers, though. I'm not sure if you've seen this creator named Mog Swamp, but
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I've seen this. Yes, I know exactly what you're about to say.
So for everybody listening who doesn't know, Mog Swamp is basically this creator who made a YouTube short that said, like, we're closing in on 1 million. I don't even know if he was actually closing in that quickly on 1 million, but he said, we're closing in on 1 million. And for each person that subscribes on this short, I'm going to mine 50 dirt blocks. And that short went viral, like 8 million views. He's gained 600,000 subscribers from that single short. And now he has to mine 30 million dirt. Do you think there's any benefit behind posting a short like that and gaining like such a crazy amount of subscribers in such a short amount of time? Because I've honestly seen this pattern across so many other channels. I mean, you have Tommy, you have Wembu. There's probably so many other creators that are doing this. Do you think there's an actual benefit to doing this besides just having an inflated subscriber count? Or is it just like people are doing this for the social currency?
Okay. So I mean, I don't think it does any harm, first of all, which is, always a good thing. But benefit-wise, I think it's completely dependent on what these creators do now they've gotten this. So I think Mog Swamps could be very beneficial as an example. So his was, as you mentioned, something along the lines of, every subscriber equals 50 blocks of dirt, and he's making a massive dirt cube or something. Well, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's something about a lot of dirt, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that could be very beneficial if he creates a whole video about doing all of this, and these short subscribers see that and they click on it and they're like, whoa, like, oh, he actually did it. And then, if he impresses them, these subscribers may stick around for future videos. And in that case, I think it could be very beneficial. What would be very not beneficial at all is if, he never makes a video actually delivering on that promise, or let's say, this is Mog Swamp, so this wouldn't happen, but let's say he made a video on it and it was an absolute stinker, like 10 out of 10 rotter, not a good video at all. And again, I really like Mog Swamp's video. He won't do this, but then it may just be social currency. So I think it's completely all about what they do after they've got it. I'm very interested to see some results. So I definitely want to see, if he does drop that video, will it outperform all his other videos? If so, maybe it could be actually something to look to. It's like, whoa, this could actually be a real audience builder here.
Yeah.
Or if perhaps, there's not much of a difference at all, or maybe this is a very, very unlikely case, but let's say if anything it underperforms, and maybe it's like the shorts people clicked off instantly, and YouTube's like, oh, it must be a terrible video and don't push it out. Then it'd be like, you know what, maybe not. Maybe it'd be best staying away from this. So I think it's completely dependent on how they do it, and I'm really interested to see some like results from it. Whether they be positive or negative. But I imagine they'll be positive if done right.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be like a huge anti-shorts person. I thought they were so pointless, but I think it's kind of grown on me a lot. Like, shorts are not only just a way to gain subscribers, which, does translate into social currency, but the way I kind of see it is it's like amplified exposure. Like, you're exposing more people to you and to your brand, and to, for example, like, if I had a short and I kept featuring my Minecraft skin in it, it's like all these people are getting exposed to like my skin's colors and my skin's pattern. And maybe if I post a YouTube video in the future because they're more exposed to that, they're more likely to click on it. And
Yeah, your skin right like dead center of the thumbnail as well.
yeah,
I haven't even thought of it like that, because the way I was just thinking of it was more like giving them a promise and then, you know, funneling them through into long form like that. But I think that's a really good point as well. You could definitely, you know, get a lot of branding in there, especially skin. And then, yeah, because you drop a long form video, and I believe the main engineer of the YouTube algorithm himself has said that, you know, now there is a much more apparent link between short form to then long form. So if you watch loads of your short form, they may well be recommended one of your long forms. So it could definitely be very viable. Again, I haven't seen many results of any of this because I haven't been on the hunt for it. But I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be very beneficial to those who did do it.
Yeah. All right, you ready to go into some deep questions?
Oh God. Okay.
Okay. Question 1. How do you think, or how has your life changed since your channel blew up?
Well, my social life has completely died. It's dead in the mud. It's 6 feet under, honestly. That's and I guess I was even before my channel blew up. God, this is going to be quite a boring answer because I don't really ever do anything that spectacular in my real life. I'm a bit of a house hermit at the moment. I never used to be, and YouTube just rotted my brain into just wanting to sweat that out. So yeah, that's when my social life completely died. I do talk to people online and in real life, but it's I just don't feel like anything's changed that much. I quite, like, from a social aspect, I'm quite private about it, so only my closest of friends know. And even, like, that hasn't really ever created any sort of change at all, really, which I'm very thankful for. I don't, like, it's not like I'm now rocking around in a Lamborghini or anything.
Yeah.
You know, partly also because I can't drive, but if I could drive, I wouldn't be rocking around in a Lamborghini. I don't know, it's just, I don't think much has changed at all. The one thing I will say is it is very nice now, because I didn't get along well at all in school. I don't like the whole education thing. It really isn't for me at all. I'm absolutely dreadful at learning. Learning things that I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
And YouTube's managed to, at least, like, you know, for now, I'm in a place where I can kind of just go all in on this, which is great because I really enjoy that. So there's a lot less, like, worry about, you know, what am I going to do with my future. I definitely had that before because I didn't really enjoy, like, all that much until I found YouTube. So that, I mean, that was that's like maybe the biggest change. It's provided a lot more, I don't know what the word would, maybe stability? Maybe, potentially not, I'm not really sure, but it's, there's not been any, like, crazy changes, you know. I don't walk down the street and get mobbed by fans or anything. I don't have, like, 5 security guards following me around at all times ready to gun down anyone who comes close. So, yeah, no crazy changes.
I mean, yeah, like, I feel like my perception back then of big YouTuber was, oh, they live in, like, a 10,000 square foot mansion and they bought 4 McLarens and a Lamborghini, and they're just, like, living the most lavish lifestyle ever. But, like, for me, I still wear the same clothes. Like, I still have the same friends. I still go to the same school. Like, nothing is different besides the fact that I just have this thing that I'm doing that's, like, so fun. And it just feels like, I know this is kind of, like, cheesy, but it just feels like I have this purpose now. And my goal is to, like, build this channel and build a community and help other creators, like, grow. So yeah, that's kind of the only way that it's changed my life. Nothing special.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, lowest to highest on anything I'm shopping for, best believe.
Yeah.
No 10,000 square foot mansions. Yeah, I'm still living out my parents' basements and making all my videos through that. So it's yeah, it's no crazy changes, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, to be honest. I'm
Hmm.
very much enjoying myself at the moment.
Are you planning on going to any creator conventions? Like, for example,
Ah.
VidCon is this June, and then I know Vid Summit is next October, I think. Are you planning on going to any of those?
So I'm not going to VidCon because I heard Bacon's going there, and I hate that guy. I cannot stand. No, I'm only joking. But I am not going to VidCon. But I will be at Vid Summit.
Hmm.
I'm going with myself, Miles, Chief, Spifey, and then Jude and Buzzy.
Yeah.
So I'm going with a good few others, and I'll be at Vid Summit. But I'm not going to VidCon.
Hmm.
Looking
Yeah.
forward to it though. It should be exciting. I've never been to one of these I've never been to really any conventions before. I don't think so. It'll be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to it and meeting some other creators there that I've not met before. Are you going to Vid Summit?
I think I am. Yeah. I mean, I have college next year, but the nice thing about this, like, my parents would not let me go to anything. I really wanted to go to Vid Summit these past 2 years, and I really wanted to go to VidCon last year. But for some reason, well, obviously, like a lot of creators are doing this full time, but my parents would not let me skip school to go to these. uh, but now, since I'm gonna be like independent and whatever, I think I'm just gonna
Mhm.
like skip classes for a week or whatever, like 4 days just to go to Vid Summit. And yeah, I'm going to VidCon this June, so I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of the life stealers are going to VidCon. I believe that's what I've been told so far.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know tons of people that are going Vid Summit. I know quite a few like people who are into strategy and like more that sort of side of things that are going, but I'm still not too certain on what creators are going. But if you're going Vid Summit, we should definitely meet up at
Oh
some
yeah,
point.
for sure,
That'll
for
be really
sure.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, another question. What does a day in the life of Wenzo look like?
Oh, ready for the most boring answer in the entire world.
Sure.
So I'm currently waking up at 11, which is a significant improvement from last year when I was waking up at 2 p.m.
Hmm.
And I'm I am I mean I go on a run. I go on a run in the mornings. I'm getting back into my running now because I took a break off that while I was trying to capitalize off my recent growth. Um, I'm getting back into that. I'll go on a run. I'll have some breakfast, probably a bowl of cereal. There's Special K. I love some Special K. Maybe some Frosties if there is no Special K. Maybe some Cheerios if there is no Frosties. Um, Brush my teeth. Oh, well, I have a shower after I go on a run, of course. Brush my teeth. And then kind of just work on my videos. I enjoy taking my dog on a walk. That's about one of the two times I see sun in the day.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't. I really wish I could give a more exciting answer, but I just can't. There is absolutely nothing cool or exciting about my daily routine whatsoever. It's
Yeah. No, yeah, that's fair. I think running though in the morning is such a game breaker. Like, I started doing it I don't even know, like 3 weeks back. Like, I would usually do workouts at night, but then I started also
Mhm.
running in the morning. And I was reading a bunch of stuff on it, and apparently if you get like sunlight exposure in the morning, it helps you sleep a lot better at night. I'm not sure how true that is, but it's
Ah,
like
that,
a bunch of scientists were saying that. And there's like studies too. So,
my sleep has improved recently, so that could be why.
yeah,
Maybe. I mean, yeah,
maybe.
that's interesting.
Yeah. But it's
I
like,
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, I used to be an evening runner, and that was good. But now I'm more running for less for just to get some exercise, but um more to kind of challenge myself in the morning. So get out of bed and do, like before I can even have the luxury of a bowl of Frosties or something. It's nope, out running out in the cold because I live in the UK. and it's a comeback. Rain or shine, I have to run the same distance each time, and then come back, and then I can go and have some food and get to work. And it is always nice starting off the right way, because you just get a big boost of happiness. You feel like you're getting a step ahead of the game, which is always good. But running wise, I prefer running in the evenings, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Running in the evenings is so therapeutic. So if I wanted maybe more of a bit of time to be in my own head and relax, and I'd run in the evening. If I want to try and challenge myself and not be lazy, then I'll do in the mornings.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Kind of off topic. I kind of keep forgetting that you live in the UK, and I feel like the UK, there's a lot of let's say stereotypes about the UK.
Oh God.
What do you think?
None of which are good.
What do you think is like the best part and the worst part of living in the UK?
Ooh, okay. I can give the worst part is everyone here is really miserable.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Everyone here is, is like in America. I'd like to feel like if I was like walking down the streets, maybe I outreach my arm, go for a cheeky like high five. I might get a high five back, potentially like a 50% chance.
Mm-hmm.
In the UK, if you did that, I feel like you probably get your like hand sliced off more than get a handshake back. The UK just feels like it's really, everyone is very grumpy. But that's also where I think one of the best things about the UK is we have a very like dry sense of humor, which like, and we're very miserable. Like a lot of our humor just comes from making fun of our failures. I think that's always good. It's a lot of even my own humor is very self-deprecating. It's just like the sort of humor most of us like to make. So that's probably the best thing about the UK, in my opinion. Is I really like how grey and bleak some of our humor can be. Sometimes I think it sets us apart from maybe other places where humor's more jolly all the time. Because it's not jolly over here. Oh no.
Yeah, I'll be 100% honest. That might have to do something with like the year-round temperature, right? Because, so obviously in the US, there's cold places and then there's places that are hot year-round. And I've kind of found that when I've gone to places that are like warm or hot year-round, everybody there is just so much nicer than where I live. Like, yeah, there's nice people where I live, but it's nothing compared to, let's say, California or Florida.
Yeah, it would make sense, right? Because it would probably be hard to be consistently happy if you open you open the curtains and the first thing you see is a thundercloud above you, just raining raining all over your garden or anything. It's that, I mean, it that probably has something to do with it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm. What is like the typical UK food? Because I've seen some stuff on UK food, and like I'm not trying to offend any UK people, but when I see beans and toast for breakfast, like that just looks disgusting. No offense.
In all fairness, like. Let me cook here.
Okay, go ahead.
Beans and toast isn't as horrible or as weird as it looks. I quite like, so the things that more annoy me in the UK is a lot of people will have chicken and then not put any seasoning on it, or their seasoning will be salt and pepper. Not a fan of that at all. I'm a man who enjoys my flavours, and some of the UK food can lack flavour quite often actually. We definitely don't have the best food in the world, but I think our food is we don't care so much about presentation, which is why our food probably looks like some sort of alien vomit to anyone that doesn't live in the UK.
Yeah.
Like I know I can understand how a lot of our food, like for instance, the beans on toast could look absolutely disgraceful if you're from outside the UK. But honestly, it's pretty nice. I'm a weird man with food myself. You know kiwi fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do not peel my kiwi fruits. I eat them
What?
like an apple. There's a fun fact about
What?
About
That
me.
is not okay.
You would be shocked at how nutritious the skin of kiwi fruits are.
Okay, it's probably nutritious, but it's disgusting. Like, isn't it?
really is.
Oh my gosh.
It's actually really nice. I've had quite a few friends before who said that is so disgusting, and I get them to try it, and I convert them. I convert them into kiwi fruit peel eaters. It's actually it's quite nice.
Isn't like
That's
the
a fun
outside of a
fact.
kiwi fuzzy though?
It is a bit hairy, but they're very fine hairs and hard to notice. I think, to be fair, if maybe if it was a kiwi fruit that was rocking like a full like Thor beard or something, it was like properly like, you know, really hairy, then maybe I would have second thoughts about delving straight into that. But you would be surprised at how nice it is. That's a nice bit of crunch to your kiwi fruit.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. All right. Going back to YouTube. So a lot of creators that I've talked to, like, they have a really long-term goal with their channels. They're like, oh, I want to build this up so I can become a voice actor for movies, or I want to build this up so I can expand into other businesses. Is there like an idea you have or a really long-term goal that you have with YouTube that you're going to plan to use and like kind of plan to pivot into something else? Or is your goal with YouTube just, I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to grow this as big as I can and then see where it takes me?
Yeah, I really don't have any plans outside of YouTube. I wanna. The main thing for me is always, you know, being able to rest my mind, assure that I'm in a place where I can take risks and try other things, and that I've got like a safety blanket. So I want to get myself into a place where, with you, my first goal is get myself into a place with YouTube where I'm safe to, you know, try new things and do things that I might really enjoy that could be a bit of a risk. I don't have any goals outside of YouTube, mainly because I've never enjoyed anything anywhere near as much as YouTube. I'll definitely expand out one day and do some, like, maybe some IRL channels or things like that. I don't plan on doing Minecraft all my life. You know, also probably because Minecraft won't be around and too interesting for all my life. I'll probably get bored of it at some point. But I kind of plan to do YouTube for as long as I can, which is why I'm really hoping that the platform doesn't end up dying off or anything.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I guess, is a lot of this. I'm hoping a lot of the skills I learned from YouTube would, if YouTube was to die off, be able to translate into other areas. So perhaps one thing I do really enjoy doing, I do actually really enjoy doing my voice acting, or maybe not voice acting, but I like doing my voiceovers, you know, lifting and dropping my pitch and all of that. I find that really fun. Maybe presenting, you know, a bit out of the blue, but that could be fun. I like presenting things. I don't have any like concrete solid, you know, I want to be a filmmaker after YouTube or anything. Maybe I'll dabble a bit here and there, but I don't think, I don't know. I've yet to find anything that I've enjoyed and want to do as much than YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like, I have no idea where I want to go or what I want to do, but I've kind of come to realize that YouTube is just such a powerful tool for like everything, not just what you learn, which is really important, but it opens up so many doors in like all sorts of different industries. Like, if you get to a certain point, I think you can kind of just like go down whatever path you want once you've built like a successful channel or just a successful brand. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Guess how long we've been talking for, Wenzo?
It's not that hour already, right?
It's already been an hour, dude.
Oh my god! I've listened to a fair few other episodes, and I was like, surely the hour doesn't go by that quickly.
It goes by so
It
fast.
actually does. What the hell?
All right, you ready to hear
crazy.
the outro song through my AirPods?
Oh yeah, the outro song, the classic.
Classic. All right, let's see if it starts playing.
Not hearing anything yet.
Okay, it started playing, but it's probably just not picking up.
Oh, okay.
You
I
heard it a little
small
bit?
bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, is there anything else that you'd like to say before we wrap things up?
Subscribe to Testrun Podcast and listen on Spotify as well. Give a 5-star rating. Pretty sure that's how it works. on
That is
Spotify.
how it works, yeah. Is there anything that you want to plug for yourself? Like any channels?
Not really.
anything?
I mean, I have for anyone interested, a new video dropping soon. That'll be interesting, I
New
guess.
Wenzo video dropping soon. As Wenzo said, thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a 5-star review if you're on Spotify. Follow if you're on Spotify. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment, and like. And thank you everybody for listening. And I will see you in the next episode of the Test Run. Boom.
Bye.